Man, I never thought I'll feel so empty after seeing a movie. Well, didn't think I'll be making another video like this, but hey, why not? While I wait for people to hate me for seeing this movie, I'll go ahead and give out my opinions. However, I'll need a certain co-star to join me on this, and that person being... Awkward pause?
Oh, that's me. I'm the co-star.
I figured to bring in KP to this because this is the type of film that has been talked about lately where it could be either positive or very, 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 very negative. That movie being the photorealistic reimagining of The Lion King.
It sucks.
Not gonna lie, I was very curious about this film. And by curious, I mean I scratched my head thinking to myself, why? I wouldn't say the original Lion King is my personal favorite in the Disney animated canon, but I still love it for its story, characters, song, and animation. It's certainly a Disney classic for a reason.
The Lion King is one of my favorite, not just Disney movies, but movies in general, because Simba is bae and I really like his character arc. So to the point where I was comparing the live action movie to the animated movie in my head, basically my notes are really detailed. So it might not just be like, oh, this sucked because of the live action thing. It's like, let me talk about the animation principles, man, and explain why this sucks. And I'm actually gonna do some of that sometimes, so, prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself.
Might as well get the positives out of the way since there's a few in there. For starters, they brought back that one Disney opening from the Jungle Book remake! I don't understand why Disney doesn't use this a lot for their films, but it's just so good, so delightful, and so Disney! Okay, positives about the film itself. The visuals are good, right?
Basically, the visual- I dropped my phone. They were fine. I was pleasantly surprised there was not as much uncanny valley as I thought there would be.
Even though people may not like how lifeless they look in the film, I at least give the animators credit for making these animals act and feel as if they were actually there in person, especially with young Simba.
So adorable!
Everything else is either somewhat decent, meh, and oh yeah, boring! At first I was going to mention about spoilers since there are a few minor things that are different from the original, but really they don't affect the plot in a huge way, so it's not really necessary to bring up.
If you don't know what happens in The Lion King, then I'm sorry for the rock you live under, but you might want to get out of it. It is a pretty shot-per-shot remake. It's not exactly, but the key shots are pretty much the same. There were some line changes here and there, for the most part. The biggest thing that I liked is Sarabi is mentioned and has a little bit more to do. Like, if you remember the original, Sarabi is only mentioned by name once. Sarabi! But she's mentioned by name at least 3 or 4 times, and there's actually an arc about how apparently Sarabi chose Mufasa instead of Scar, and Scar is like, be my queen, Sarabi, and Sarabi's like, no, you gross. I expected, honestly, more lore from the sequel, like a Zero Lion, somewhere, but no Zero Lion. That would have been cool, but no one listens to me.
Then again, who pays attention to direct-to-DVD sequels?
I do. I was just surprised how shot per shot the opening was, to the point where I'm just like, they used some of the original opening for even timing. And the rack shot, they have the rack shot of the ants with the zebra, and I'm just like, come on, man, this is like...
It's plagiarism at its finest.
My favorite thing about how wrong they got the intro is the scene where Zazu comes up and he bows. This Zazu just kind of blinks and looks around and just come on, man. Are you kidding me?
I mean, when Rafiki comes into the scene, you know how him and Mufasa gave each other a hug in the original? Here, however, in order to capture the realism, Rafiki just pats Mufasa's snout
Yeah, I was mad. I was just like, what am I paying for?
We paid $11 to see this film.
Logan's gonna refund me.
One minor issue I did have when viewing this film is how much padding there is. It occurs 3 times in total, and I feel like they're only in there just to make the film much more longer than the original. For example, we see this mouse wandering around minding its own business for about a minute, another where Simba is trying to pounce this rhinoceros beetle, and the last one, we'll talk about it later.
Oh yeah, it sucked. And I was also mad because the lines for this movie are very similar to the point of why are they paying James Earl Jones to say the exact same lines again? And some of his deliveries are forceful, like when he says, "Is that a challenge?" Like in the original, it's like very like, "Is that a challenge?" And then here it's just like, "Is that a challenge?" It looks like he doesn't care as much.
We should mention that we don't blame any of the actors that took part in this. They're just doing their jobs after all. It's more the direction that was given to them that makes them sound less energetic and joyless.
The other thing that I noticed that no one else noticed is like I adore John Oliver. John Oliver is like adorable little baby babu. But when he's giving the morning report, I think it's ad-lib and he actually makes a tweeting joke. He says the birds were tweeting a lot today and I'm just like, oh god, oh god.
The comedy doesn't work. I mean, at times I get a few chuckles here and there, but the majority of the gags present here are just characters bickering with each other to the point where it gets old really fast, whether it be from Timon and Pumbaa or Benzai and Ed. By the way, I know their names are different in the remake, but I don't care to remember what they are. Anyways, KP, how do you feel about their take on I Just Can't Wait to Be King?
It sucks. They're so set on trying to be naturalistic. They don't do any of fun things they do in the original with the funky colors. They're just running around the whole time. I almost was debating walking out because it's just like, this isn't fun.
They don't even do that pyramid thing near the end.
The pyramid thing isn't realistic, Logan.
I know, but it'll be so funny and awkward to see them pull it off realistic-like, but I just...
And I have another thanks I hated note. Where the framing of the original movie, Simba and Nala are cornered, and then Mufasa comes out from the back of the shot to dominate, and there's such a distinct change of dominance from the hyenas, and it's like an over-the-shoulder shot of him looking down. In this one, he kind of just shows up in the back. It's not dramatic at all, and I'm just like, thanks, I hate it. It really ruins the tension of the scene, and I think that a lot of those moments correlate to Logan's feelings of the movie just being kind of empty because it just lacks a lot of the spectacle. It just seems very contained between like a couple lions disputing, you know? It's not like this whole like big epic Hamlet-esque kind of thing. It's just like, oh, they don't like each other. They fight. Okay, bye.
Then we get to this attempt on Be Prepared that is clearly put in at the last minute. You can tell by the length, how the scene was choreographed, and the performance is not as strong enough compared to Jeremy Irons / Jim Cummings. It's whatever.
Sigh. The next notes I have are about the Stampede scene, which sucked. Oh my god, I hated the Stampede scene so much. If you came out of the movie like we did, feeling empty, I think the Stampede scene is like the pinnacle of comparison to the original versus the remake. Because in the remake, it's much more self-contained because they're so intent on making the gorge manageable, I guess, from a technical standpoint. The Stampede scene just kind of like lacks the epicness, and it doesn't feel like as much of an emergency. If Simba fell off, I don't think he'd die. If he just ran with them, probably be fine.
You want to talk about Mufasa's death scene now?
Oh my god, I hated it. The thing that really upset me the most is they cut that reverse shot of Mufasa realizing that what Scar was doing the whole time that he set it up. So it not only was it subtle, it lacked the theatrics, and then plus the whole established problem of it lacking scale.
This is supposed to be one of the most saddest moments in movie history, and yet they managed to mess that up. First off, Simba's delivery sounds more like his phone battery is about to die rather than knowing that his father is dead. Second, whenever they recreate scenes or reuse dialogues from the original, it feels so rushed. Those scenes go by so fast that I wasn't given the chance to be invested with these versions of the characters. I assume the people behind this film did that because everybody's familiar with these scenes, so they just want to get to the point and continue with the rest of the plot.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Hakuna Matata!
I really like how this movie questions Hakuna Matata, because if you think about it, Hakuna Matata is just a coping mechanism for Simba that doesn't make any sense in hindsight, because instead of just dealing with his problems, he's shoving them in the back of his head, and Hakuna Matata is not making it any better. And I hate how everyone just has the stupid Hakuna Matata shirts on, and I'm just like, no, that's delaying Simba's character development, that's a coping mechanism, that's not cool, he can't run from his fate, like, in Timon and Pumbaa never really learned that lesson. They just kind of like, well, I guess we're just going with Simba because we're his friends. Maybe Hakuna Matata isn't really adulting, guys. Like, just maybe.
I may or may not have that t-shirt. Sorry, marketing got to me. So going back to the padding I mentioned earlier, we get the last one where we see a small chunk of Simba's mane being blown by the wind. It goes on for a little bit, only for the mane to be attached to a leaf where a giraffe not knowingly eats it. After that, it fades to black. At first when I saw this scene, I was thinking to myself, wait, that's it? What's even the point of all of that then? Then it fades back to a different location where we see a dung beetle rolling poop that contains Simba's mane so that it'll be blown back again to reach to Rafiki. I repeat, we fade back to see a dung beetle rolling a ball of feces that contains Simba's mane. Moving on.
In this version, they have a whole lion sleeps tonight chorus, and then Nala like comes in and interrupts it like by hunting. One of the things that was really funny is that the Can You Feel the Love Tonight scene, not only does it take place as soon as Nala gets there, but it takes place during the day.
Well, that scene was a lie. Dare I say, was a lion. After that, we see Simba and Nala arguing. Simba meets Rafiki. Rafiki tells him, "You're Mufasa's son," yada yada yada, you get the point.
The character models all look similar for the males and females, and they try to make them distinct. So the scene where Simba's looking into the reflection, it's like, you see he lives in you, and I'm just like, I don't see Mufasa.
Speaking of which, Mufasa shows up. Though, this time, we only hear his voice while flashes of lightning briefly showcase his face. Lame, but what did I expect? Once Mufasa is gone, they don't even do that whole bit where Rafiki tells Simba that the past hurts and you can learn from it.
I was mad, because that's like a really important part of the movie.
Why focus on that when we can promote a brand new Beyonce song? It's very forgettable. Ugh, I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of Beyonce.
You're gonna get ostracized from the internet, man.
Hey, opinion's opinion. Y'all better respect it, well I'll respect yours.
That was the whitest thing you've ever said. Oh my god. Oh my god. The Be Our Guest. Like, oh my god. No, you're kidding.
That one was kind of funny, but at the same time, I hate how it reminded me of the live-action Beauty and the Beast film. Ew. At this point, there's really no need to go on since everything else is the same to the point that we'll just be repeating ourselves on how those scenes are poorly executed. You all seen the original film, so you know how it ends. Let's just wrap this up. KP, what are your overall thoughts?
The movie is too close to the original, where it's kind of like, what's the point of this? And they barely expand on anything. Like, all the expansions that they do for the lore is just so minimal. So it kind of lacks a lot of the soul of the original. It lacks the epicness. The stupid emotions can't emote very well. This is why animation's important, guys. Go watch animation.
For me, I was so bored watching this film from beginning to end. While not the worst live-action remake of a Disney classic, unlike certain others, it's the most pointless. There's really not much else I can add that hasn't been said before by others. I would suggest not seeing this film, but according to the box office as of this recording, yeah, Disney is not going to stop with these remakes anytime soon. Sorry. Well, that should do with our thoughts on the 2019 Lion King film. Thank you again for joining me, KP.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What did you think about the new Lion King?
Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Is it crappy?
Let us know. We're open to hear different opinions. Well, that should do it for now. See you guys later, and all I gotta say for now is, Mulan, please be different and tolerable! Same goes to you as well, Lady and the Tramp!